A look at Venice this morning, where the star-studded wedding celebration of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez continues.
Talk to me about this team that you two have built together.
That's a good word. We're really great teammates, and we also have a lot of fun together, and we love each other.
They said it was a love story, that Jeff Bezos, the richest man on earth, had finally followed his heart and left his quiet, bookish wife for a glamorous woman who made him feel alive again. But that's the version they want you to believe. The truth? This was never just about love. It was a power shift, covert, tactical, and explosive. It started in 2019 with a scandal that blew through headlines like wildfire. Bezos, CEO of Amazon, married for over 25 years to Mackenzie Scott, was suddenly outed for an affair with Lauren Sanchez. She wasn't just any woman. She was a TV personality, a helicopter pilot, and more importantly, the wife of Hollywood super agent Patrick Whitesell. The internet devoured the scandal. Leaked texts showed Bezos calling her a live girl, telling her he wanted to smell her. It was embarrassing. But while the memes were flying and the headlines mocked him, Jeff was already rewriting the story. He went public with a bombshell blog post exposing the National Enquirer for extortion. He wasn't just a man caught cheating, he was suddenly a target of corruption. And Lauren? She didn't cry, she didn't vanish. She stood beside him, chin high, sunglasses on, defiant. This was the first red flag, because side pieces don't usually get yachts. Lauren didn't just weather the storm, she controlled the tide. She became more than a girlfriend. She became the brand manager of Jeff Bezos. Suddenly, he wasn't just the awkward, bald tech nerd. He was wearing tight polos, kissing Lauren on a yacht, grinning beside her at galas. The man who once avoided cameras was now making headlines for his body glow-up. And Lauren, she was there for all of it, every interview, every rocket launch, every private island. She had gone from paparazzi target to polished power partner. But here's what you weren't supposed to notice. The people closest to Bezos were starting to disappear. Longtime business allies were reportedly cut off. Staff insiders whispered that Lauren began curating access, that even internal charity memos and public talking points were funneled through her first. One associate told Page 6 anonymously, "You don't just call Jeff anymore, you go through Lauren." What started as a scandal became a takeover. And while most of the public thought she was just the hot girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez was restructuring the richest man's world. And most people didn't even see it happening. After the affair went public, Bezos didn't fall. He ascended, but not alone. Lauren Sanchez wasn't just standing beside him in love. She was constructing his second act. She introduced him to Hollywood's elite, smoothed his edges, pushed him to own his public image. The man who once hid behind algorithms now stood in front of cameras. When Jeff stepped down from Amazon in 2021, people thought he was slowing down. He wasn't. He was relaunching. And Lauren, she was the creative director of the new Jeff. She didn't just elevate him, she erased who he used to be. She replaced Mackenzie's silence with bold public statements. While Mackenzie quietly donated billions, Lauren posed in designer gowns next to world leaders and posted it to Instagram with captions like, "Dreaming big." Bezos' yacht, Kourou, became a floating metaphor, a $500 million vessel for a man newly reborn. And the wooden mermaid figure at the bow, Lauren's face, carved in full. She wasn't just on the yacht, she was the yacht. But here's the dangerous part. As Lauren's visibility grew, so did her influence behind the scenes. Insiders claimed she had eyes on everything, from PR statements to travel itineraries to which photos were posted after events. She was no longer orbiting Bezos, she was gravitational, and that's exactly what made people nervous. Because when one person controls access, image, and influence at that level, what happens if it ends? If Lauren walks away, she doesn't leave empty-handed. She leaves with everything: the emails, the messages, the photos, the secrets. She leaves with a map of the Bezos machine, and that's where the whispers start. Was this always the plan? Had Lauren seen the cracks in Jeff's marriage and slowly worked her way in? Was the National Enquirer leak an accident? Or was it an intentional detonation to burn the past and step into something more powerful? People inside Bezos' former circle say the leaks felt too perfect. That the images, the messages, the angle, they had polish. Like someone didn't just expose the affair, they packaged it. If you're still watching right now, this is the moment. Hit that like button if you're feeling the heat. Drop a comment if you think this love story has strings attached. And subscribe to Ms.CathyKnows because this isn't gossip. This is a chessboard with billion-dollar pieces. Now they're engaged. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, once the center of a tabloid disaster, are now the polished face of a billionaire power couple. The photos, glossy. The ring, monstrous. The location, a yacht floating off the Amalfi Coast, of course. And the press? Oh, they were accidentally there, ready with telephoto lenses and primetime slots. But this wasn't a private moment. This was a brand rollout. There were no tears, no humble captions, no close friends-only filters. Just a very public declaration that said one thing loud and clear. We're not just in love, we're in control. But beneath the surface of designer smiles and curated romance is a tension most people don't want to admit exists. Because when two people build an empire based on influence, public image, and curated access, what happens when the illusion cracks? Let's start with what Lauren Sanchez has been building. It's not just love, it's infrastructure. She's launching her own production company. Rumors swirl of multi-million-dollar documentary deals. She's in conversations with fashion houses, social platforms, political consultants. She's not looking to be another billionaire's wife. She wants to be a billionaire narrative machine. Her brand isn't just attached to Jeff's anymore, it's growing its own branches. She's meeting with former Obama media strategists. She's being pitched by legacy Hollywood producers. She's being scouted for environmental board seats. And according to one insider, she wants her own TED Talk, her own network, and her own empire. She's not behind Bezos, she's standing beside him now, and soon, she won't need him at all. And that's the part that should terrify him. Because if this relationship implodes, Lauren isn't just walking away with heartbreak. She's walking away with nuclear-level leverage. She's been in the boardrooms, on the jets, in the encrypted chats. She's been briefed on the skeletons, the enemies, the future plans. She's heard the quiet frustrations about Elon. She's heard the whispered names of people blacklisted from the Bezos inner circle. She knows which politicians Jeff really talks to and which charities are just PR plays. If she ever chooses to talk, it wouldn't be a tabloid story, it would be a national event. And maybe that's why Jeff keeps giving, keeps elevating, keeps merging his legacy with hers. Because he knows, deep down, this love story is a deal with a very smart devil. One who knows her value, one who will never settle for being anyone's shadow. But here's what nobody's really saying. This might be exactly what Jeff wants. Because after years of being seen as the awkward tech guy, the emotionless trillionaire, the divorced businessman trying to beat Elon in a pissing contest, Lauren gave him something else. She gave him myth. She made him interesting. She turned him from a number into a headline, from a Wall Street icon into a cultural moment. She made people root for him, talk about him, wonder about him. Whether they love or hate them, people are finally paying attention. And Jeff Bezos, man of algorithms, data, control, knows exactly how valuable that is. In today's world, power doesn't come from silence, it comes from narrative. And Lauren, she's the best storyteller he's ever hired. But the danger isn't in what they're building. It's in what happens if it all collapses. Because Bezos didn't just fall in love, he tied his reputation to someone who's not afraid of fire. And if you've watched Lauren closely, you know one thing. She doesn't run from fire. She walks through it wearing heels. If this love story ends in betrayal, whether it's his or hers, she won't fade quietly. She'll own the fallout, she'll shape the story, and she'll probably win. Because this isn't the 1950s. Women like Lauren don't get buried, they get platforms, and she already has one. And maybe that's why this isn't a love story. Maybe it's a power contract, a merger of influence, a silent war disguised as romance. Maybe it's not about who loves who more, but who's willing to lose less. And when you realize that, you realize this was never about the affair, never about the yacht, never about the texts. This was about control, control of perception, control of access, control of legacy. So now when you see them on another red carpet, holding hands at another launch event, smiling on the bow of that $500 million ship with Lauren's face carved into the front, don't ask if they're in love, ask who's really winning. Because if this all ends in smoke, if one of them decides to blow it up, it won't be quiet, it won't be clean. It'll be the biggest celebrity implosion since Brangelina. And this time, the fallout won't just be emotional. It'll be economic, it'll be political, and it'll be historic. So before you repost their engagement photo, before you write couple goals in the comments, just remember, this isn't just a romance. It's a power play no one saw coming. And Lauren Sanchez, she's not done yet.